Hey everybody, I'm Javeda Bay, aka the Millennial Sexpert, and welcome back to Toy Talk, my web series where I share my wealth of knowledge about all things sex toys with you, so that way you can make the most informed purchases as you are expanding or starting your toy collection. And it's a new year. Happy New Year. I know I kind of fell off at the end there. We're just gonna let it be, okay? Because I'm back now, and that's what matters most. And a lot of new toys came out over like the end of last year, and so get ready for a lot of like toy specific videos because that's what I got. That's what we gonna do. And today I specifically want to talk about the Womanizer Next Duo. So if you don't know, last year I think it was, or sometime the year before that, Womanizer put out the Womanizer Next, which was like the new and improved like level up of the regular Womanizer, in the sense that it had a few more features like climax control, I want to say, and a few more levels of intensity, and just like deeper penetrating stimulation. And so then they were like, we can do one better. And they made it into a dual stimulation toy. Now, I actually love the Womanizer Duo as well as the Womanizer Blend. Like, I think that they do a really great job with duo toys. And obviously, I gave this one a whirl. And overall, not mad at it. Like, by any means. There's just a few things that, like, okay, let's start with read the instructions. I generally don't, because I'm like, I've used so many toys, I kind of know toys pretty well. But hello, new features, all kinds of stuff. It's important to read the instructions for toys, because that probably would have like set me up for success from the jump. We had a lot of trial and error, but we made it through. Overall, very impressed with her. I really do like her. It still has like the functionality and like the sensations of the actual Womanizer Next. So deeper, more penetrating sensations from the actual air pleasure technology. As a dual stimulator, not fully hitting the marks for me. I just didn't feel like the internal stimulation was like as powerful as it feels in like the other dual stimulators that Womanizer makes. And granted, I think that's also because I didn't read the instructions beforehand. Because there's like the design of this is different than the actual Womanizer Duo. So like on the actual regular Womanizer Duo, the only buttons they have are the ones that are here. So it controls the intensity of both the clitoral stimulation and internal stimulation. Whereas with the Next Duo, there are actual buttons on the back side. And so again, I did not read the instructions. So I just assumed, oh, these must be for clitoral stimulation and these are going to be for internal stimulation. Why did I think that? I have no idea. Because that's not the case. It's actually the opposite. So these buttons right here all control the actual clitoral stimulation of the toy. So increasing intensity, decreasing intensity. And then this is the climax control. So what it does is that like if you push it, like as you get to climax, it like boops, hits you hard, and then like comes back down to the lowest intensity level to like make it a more relaxing climax, so that you're not as overwhelmed. So like that's a really nice feature, because then you don't have to like do the manual and mental work of being like, oh, I need this to come down because we hitting it right now. It's going to do it for you. And then on the back side we have the buttons for the internal portion, so the vibration. And so this button actually changes the pattern. It changes the pattern, and this one actually has 10 different vibration patterns, which is more than most toys that have different vibration patterns. And again, reading the instructions, one of them is called the Cha-Cha, which like, I don't like the patterns. I'm a steady, like keep it the same type of girly. But the Cha-Cha, just from the name alone, is actually pretty fun. And if you're ever like, I want to shake it up a little bit, have a little variety, going through the 10 different vibration settings is a really fun time. Especially since there's some ones that are not like your traditional standard of like the Morse code and like the buzz, 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 you know? And then it also still has the intensity controls. I think the reason that I'm like, I don't really know about this design is because they flip it. So when you're looking at it, the increasing intensity is at the bottom for the clitoral section. And like I get what they did because it's still at the bottom for the vibration, but I would have flipped it because the way my brain was thinking about it, I was repeatedly turning it down and being like, what is going on? It's because the buttons are flipped and I was functioning off of this. So like it does take a little bit of getting used to, especially if you're also like a big fan of Womanizer and you've used the Duo before, the introduction of new buttons can be a little tricky, and them technically being reversed from what this is, but technically not, because like it's a mirror image, essentially, kind of makes it a little bit different. That's my biggest like con of it. Button functionality for me wasn't really hitting the mark, and that's also probably because me and my brain opposite. Like most people, when I like touch somebody else's like MacBook, or like their Apple mouse, like their scroll function is opposite of how mine is set up. So I think that's more a me thing, but like just so you're aware, there are more buttons on here, and the plus is at the bottom, so don't get caught like me lowering the intensity when you're trying to kick it up a notch. But there's 14 levels of intensity, which I love, because some days you just really need some power, and other days you're like, I just need it gentle and soft. And having 14 levels of intensity really gives you some variation in like where you are with that. So I greatly enjoy that fact. It does still have the flexibility in terms of like actually being able to bend the insertable portion a little bit more to like match or align with your body a little bit better, or whatever position you're in. So I do really appreciate that. And as with all Womanizer toys, the actual like cover for the opening for where your clitoris would go does come off, and they have multiple different sizes available. So we love that body inclusivity. Overall, I'm not mad at her. Like, she's actually really good. I think I just need to like get a little bit more used to her, especially in terms of like the button control, which is why, again, reading instructions is important. But we learned what we needed to, and I'm overall like, as always, Womanizer really just doesn't miss in my book. And they don't really miss with this one. You just gotta, if your brain is anything like mine, you're gonna need to take some time to really get used to her. And another great thing about this one, she is so freaking quiet, y'all. Nails make it hard to turn on. Okay, she's on right now. Do you hear it? I don't think you do. She's so freaking quiet. And I haven't even turned on the smart silence yet. This is just her base level sound. And it's not loud. Granted, like right now I'm turning up the clitoral portion, and doesn't really get too loud because it's like body, it senses the body. So it's not really going to do the suction until it's close and feeling flesh. But even when my thumb is there, quiet. And in terms of the actual like vibration, like that's really not loud. Like, it's probably sounds loud because I put it closer, but like it's really quiet. And if it was actually inside, she's real quiet. Super quiet. So if you happen to be somebody that has to be mindful of like noise and sound, whether it be because you live with roommates, you live at home with your parents and you really don't want them to know what you're doing, or you have children and you also don't want them to know what you're doing, literally will not hear her. Quiet as a mouse. So I really love that. And then like, again, it has the smart silence, so you can also actually make sure that it is being as quiet as possible. Okay. I double checked though. The smart silence is like automatically on by default, so we love that. She just automatically is going to be quiet when you turn her on. But you can turn her off if you want. And if you do that, even with the smart silence off, still not loud. Like, so if you were looking for a toy that is actually going to be quiet, the Womanizer Next Duo is that thing. Also, if you're someone that's like, I love dual stimulation, but like your girly loves suction or air pleasure for clitoral stimulation, here you go. And like deep penetrative air pleasure sensation, like not just like the surface level, like it really goes deep. So that way the entirety of the clitoris is being stimulated. So if any of that sounds like your jam, definitely make sure you check out the Womanizer Next Duo. Visit your local sex shop to see if they have it in stock so you can actually feel it and like play with it yourself. But if you're like, nah, Jave, I don't need to do that, like I'm here for it, you can make your way over to this link to order your own. But yeah, this is the Womanizer Next Duo. I'm really happy with her. I'm also really happy because like the insertable portion is actually shorter than the regular Womanizer Duo, and it already curves up more than the other one. So like it's just like so well designed for the body, which is very important to me. But still has that flexibility because there's a lot of variance in our bodies. So if any of that is something of interest of you, then definitely make sure you check out the Womanizer Next Duo. And if you're like, I want to hear more, Javay, about your experience with this, make your way to my website later this week. I'm dropping a full written review of this toy with a little bit more details. But yeah. Make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel because, hello, there's a wealth of knowledge available to you here. Why would you not do that? Also, you subscribing really helps me to be able to give more time and attention to making content consistently. And definitely make sure you follow me on all the social media platforms because I do great stuff there, like giveaways, which you missed if you were not following me on Instagram. But yeah. That is that. And make sure you subscribe to my email newsletter because I don't know, maybe I'm doing another giveaway next month and you might want to be able to enter that. But until then, I'm gonna see y'all later. Deuces.